Welcome back, everybody, to the 1987 Supermod. I'm your host, as always, Brad Drake, and this is my AWA save. Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming at you live and in living color here, and we're going to be doing some TV tapings. So, we're on the main screen here, and before I go ahead and get into our television taping, the main news story here is that Bob Geigel has resigned as president of the NWA, and he's withdrawn Central States. This actually happened, everybody. This is real. So off screen, off camera, off recording, what I will do is I will log in and I will go ahead and withdraw Central States from the NWA. And I will also go ahead and create their new alliance, and we'll get that going. So for those of you that weren't familiar, this really happened for real. Bob Geigel decided to form the WWA. He was very upset that Jim Crockett Jr. had total control over the NWA World Heavyweight title, and that he was turning it into a single national promotion instead of an alliance. So this was Geigel's way to fire back. Unfortunately, it did not work for him. I think Central States ended up running shows up until about 89 or maybe 90 sporadically. They were already pretty much, I don't want to say belly up, but they were a shadow of them former selves at this point anyway. And so when they made this change, it certainly didn't improve things any. So let's go ahead and move forward and get into our television taping. Here's the question of the hour. We're going to get Championship Wrestling or ESPN Wrestling first. Okay, looks like we're going to be recording Championship Wrestling. So, I've already got us locked in here. Now, we've learned that running out of the showboat in Las Vegas, even though that was realistically what the AWA did, in our case, hurt us badly. So we are not going to do television taping there anymore. So we're going to take a look at, we're going to run out of Sports Pavilion. We've had a lot of success there. Yes, we're giving up about 3,000 seats, but it's a television taping. So we've selected the Sports Pavilion. We've done a really good job with this as the host of our television tapings, so we're going to stick with it just for the heck of it. Let's take a look at our backstage instance. Oh, Eddie, what'd you do with Bockwinkel? Eddie, 19-year-old Eddie did not shake somebody's hand. What's going on with Slaughter here? Slaughter is willing to put over Tom Zenk. Wow, that's pretty big. Let's see who's absent. Billy Robinson's about the only one absent. And we're going to go ahead and do a quick rundown of our card here. Now remember, some of you are new to the channel. We keep this realistic. These are all squash matches, except for one major match in the main event, which is two names or two teams in the main event. The rest are all squash matches. We're using enhancement talent in order to get our wrestlers over so that when we travel to the town, fans are willing to buy a ticket to see the wrestlers that looked so good when they saw them on TV. So Johnny Rich is going to be in singles action here. The Texas Hangmen are going to be in tag team action. We're going to see Tom Zenk. Nelson Royal is going to defend the World Light Heavyweight title. Crusher Jerry Blackwell is going to be in action. The Iron Sheik is going to be wrestling this evening. Sergeant Slaughter is going to wrestle for us. And then our main event, we're going to have Ali Khan and Sheik Adnan al-Kaissey challenge the Midnight Rockers for the AWA World Tag Team title. We will also be recording All-Star Wrestling. We're going to see Wendi Richter in action. The Nasty Boys are going to wrestle. Nick Konieczny is going to have a singles match. Cactus Jack is going to mix it up. Wahoo McDaniel, Bobby Duncum. We're going to see Bockwinkel and Stevens in tag action. And then our main event, we're going to see Baron von Raschke battle Larry Zbyszko. So everybody, there it is. There's our card. There's our rundown. Let's go ahead and let's get to booking. All right, we got Moreau versus Johnny Rich in the main event. This may be Dave Moreau's first match with us. We'll see. I can't recall if it is or not. I know we signed him recently. There's Dave Moreau. Dave Moreau was a Canadian wrestler. And there's Johnny Rich. Johnny Rich has done a good job for us. He's been a very serviceable hand. Him and Nick Konieczki have not had a bad tag team. And overall, I'm pleased with them. So Jimmy Magnum and Julio Rodriguez are going to face the Texas Hangmen. All right, got the names in there. It's going to be a 3-minute bout, of course. There's the Texas Hangman, managed by that dirty, no-good Don Carson. And there's Jimmy Magnum. What a look he had, huh? With that hat and glasses. And King Sideburns here, Julio Rodriguez. We're going to plug him in also. So we're going to go ahead and give Killer the win here. No need to have them cheat. Texas Hangmen were some big dudes, and they were a good tag team. All right, Joe Pantera is going to face Tom Zenk. Three-minute bout as usual. There's Pantera. There's Tom Zenk. As we've said before, Tom Zenk was a good wrestler. He looked great. He was good in the ring. He was just a nut. That's all it comes down to. So there we go. Tom Zenk's going to get the win. That's a couple different people that are willing to put over Tom Zenk now. And we're going to see Mike Luca challenge Nelson Royal here. And we were planning on having Nelson Royal lose the title to Mike Graham, but Mike Graham decided to leave us, and he's the new booker down in Jim Crockett Promotions. It's highly unlikely that that would have actually occurred, but in the game world here, that's exactly what's occurred. So we decided not even to wait the 30 days for Mike Graham, and we just cut him loose. All right, Kenny Johnson's going to face Crusher Blackwell here. And there is Ken Johnson. And isn't it nice, since we've made these changes, that we no longer have to have, a laundry list of people that aren't here, aren't available for the TV tapings? I think it's nice. I tell you, Ken Johnson, with that mullet and that mustache, he had a good look. I don't understand how he was not a major star in a promotion somewhere. All right, the World Heavyweight Champion here, Curt Hennig, is going to give us a promo. And we're going to give him 5 minutes on this promo. And of course, he's got his feud going against Scott Hall. This was the point in time where we had Curt Hennig as a heel, and he was doing his cool Curt Hennig gimmick. So he's going to speak with Larry Nelson here. And of course, he's going to talk about Scott Hall. So we are going to base him off of, we've had problems with Curt Hennig with promos. So we're going to base him off of selling and see if that helps us out. And of course, we're going to leave Larry Nelson unrated. And of course, Scott Hall is going to be unrated and off screen. So that one's booked. Next, we got Mickey Shannon facing the Iron Sheik. Sheik has worked out very well for us, except for the fact that he started the drugs bullshit. And I hate to say it, but if he does it again, I think we're going to have to cut him loose. And that was a real life problem with the Iron Sheik. He was a dope addict. All right. Iron Sheik is booked as the winner here. We should, without a doubt, see that nasty camel clutch in action. Sergeant Slaughter is going to cut a promo here. And Sergeant Slaughter is in a feud with the Iron Sheik. So what we're going to actually have happen here is we're going to have a confrontation between Slaughter and Sheik, we're not going to worry about doing a promo. In my mind, what I see here, and I hope you see here too, is that Sergeant Slaughter attempts to do a promo, but then he's confronted by the Iron Sheik. So we're going to put right in there, Sergeant Slaughter is confronted by the Iron Sheik. So there we go, Iron Sheik's in there. Now we got Larry Nelson, and we're going to go ahead and put the Iron Sheik. Now, I think I said the Iron Sheik first. I'm sorry, I meant to say Sergeant Slaughter. So Sergeant Slaughter is going to be based on microphone. Larry Nelson is going to be based on nothing, and we are going to base the Iron Sheik on charisma. So that segment is booked now, and that we intended to actually be a 6-minute segment. That should by rights get us our highest number there. All right, so now we got Kevin Collins is going to face Slaughter. Those of you that have been watching wrestling for years, especially in the 80s, knew that that was a common occurrence. A guy would be doing a promo before a match, and the one he's having the feud with, they'd come out and they'd trash talk each other, and then usually the person that wasn't wrestling that was in the feud would end up like doing commentary and trash talking his opponent the whole time during the commentary during the squash match. That's usually what happened. So I'm picturing that that's exactly what's happening here, and it's going to do nothing but help their feud here. So Sergeant Slaughter gets the win, and we have the Midnight Rockers cutting a promo, and these have not gone well for us. So we got Marty Gennetti here, and then we're going to plug in Shawn Michaels. We get Larry Nelson in there, and then we're going to get Buddy Rose and Doug Summers. Because that's who they have a hot feud going with once again, and it's worth it. All right, let's take a look at Marty Gennetti here. We just don't get good numbers with them in promos, and we've tried a lot of different things. So let's see here what would be best to rank him on. He's got high charisma. He's got high star quality. His selling is excellent. We're going to book him on selling. And we're also going to book Shawn Michaels on selling here. And of course, Larry Nelson's unrated, and of course, Rose and Summers are unrated because they're not on screen. So we're going to go ahead and book that, and let's see if that helps us. We do have to adjust. Oh, we got the right time. Time's good. And then here we go. We got our main event here, which is not the greatest of main events, but it is what you would expect for a television main event. Ali Khan and Sheik Adnan al-Kaissey are very capable of losing. There's no issue with them losing to the tag team champions. And this match would make the tag team champions look good. So there we go. We got the World Tag title on the line. And we're going to give the win to Shawn Michaels here. And see that? I clicked on AJ Petruzzi instead of Ali Khan. So we would have had a bad matchup there. All right, we got that straightened out. We're at 65 minutes. Let's go ahead and start the show and see how we can do. All right, Johnny Rich gets the win. And of course, this one gets the red text of doom. I'm not surprised. And we do not get the red text of doom here, which means the Texas Hangmen are picking up popularity here. There's a lot of green in there, which is good for us. All right, Tom Zenk gets himself a 58 match here overall. And there's not too many takeaways here. Well-executed squash. That's good. That's what we were looking for. Good. Oh, ooh. Nelson Royal and Luca only get a 27 here. Not good. Not good at all. That's not going to help the credibility of the title. Oh. All right. Blackwell scores us a 57. He scored a 71 overall for himself against Kenny Johnson. Whoa! Here we go, folks. Here we go. We get an 84 for Curt Hennig's promo here. That's got to be the highest promo we've ever gotten for Curt Hennig. Very well done. Excellent. That helps us out. Iron Sheik only scores a 56 in his match. Scored a 78 himself. So, you know, it is what it is. We're doing enhancement talent matches here. This is disappointing. So Slaughter and Sheik only get a 70 here. And that's disappointing. All right. Sergeant Slaughter scores himself an 82 in this match, but unfortunately it only gets a 68 overall. And folks, we are in trouble here of getting another really low scored television taping. All right, at least this one scores in the 73. Scores a 73. So the Midnight Rockers promo here with Rose and Summers at least gets a 73. Remember, that was only a 3-minute deal, so this is not a bad score for us. So let's hope that our main event gets us a decent score here. We get an 80 overall for the main event, and that's pretty good considering how poor Ali Khan is. So, well done, excellent. We get an 80 overall. This should save our score overall for this TV show. And let's go ahead and finish up and see how we did. All right, good. We get popularity gains in 23 regions. Excellent. 75 overall. Okay, good. Now we're going to be moving over to All-Star Wrestling, which, if you're new to the channel, and there are a lot of you, I'm getting emails every day of people saying, I just found your channel. And we consider All-Star Wrestling to be secondary to Championship Wrestling. Championship Wrestling has a national television contract on ESPN. It's also got international coverage on Screen Sport and some other areas, and also goes into Canada. All-Star Wrestling is our syndicated show. So there is a difference, and All-Star Wrestling I consider our secondary show. Even though in the system these are both A shows. All right, Malia Hosaka is going to face Wendi Richter here in our opener. And Hosaka is actually a very talented wrestler. And we may not use her as enhancement talent for too much longer. I also, this week, I did a whole lot of research, everybody, into, how do I put this? There's not a whole lot of information out there on AWA television or World Class. I was actually doing a lot of research into World Class television. And actually, Malia Hosaka came up quite a bit in the results I was seeing and running into. And apparently, Malia Hosaka was a really talented wrestler, so we may have made a mistake by making her enhancement talent here. But the main point I was going to make of television is, as far as the AWA went, we're probably using the women a lot more than the AWA actually did. Women's wrestling in the AWA was pretty much strictly an attraction. It was not a regular thing. It was pretty much an attraction. All right, so for our next bout here, we've got Blackie Guzman and Jake Milliman versus the Nasty Boys. And of course, I just cannot get over that name of Blackie Guzman. It just does not age well. But hey, that was the guy's name, so we're leaving it that way. All right, Jake Milliman, who may or may not have ever won an AWA match, is in there. I think he did win a couple AWA matches at the end of his career. He was there in the final days of the AWA, and I think they were actually using him as a regular star. So Knobs is going to get the win here, and the Nasties go over. AJ Petruzzi, another new enhancement talent signing, is going to face Nick Konieczki here. AJ Petruzzi actually ended up having a very long career on the East Coast, and he may even still be working to this day. He was the Super Destroyer in ECW, if I remember correctly. And he also did the Super Destroyer gimmick on the East Coast. So Nick Konieczny goes over here. Next, we got Ben Patrick facing Cactus Jack. And you've all heard my opinions on Cactus Jack, what I think of him as a real-life wrestler. So there's no need to go into that again, but he is working out pretty well for us here in the AWA. All right, Cactus Jack is going to get that win. And I'm sorry, but Ben Patrick looks exactly like the actor that was in Game of Thrones, who was the little person. All right, Kahlua is going to face Wahoo McDaniel here. And notice how I say Wahoo McDaniel. I don't know what it is, but the guy's name was always Wahoo McDaniel. There was no S at the end of McDaniel, but for some reason, whenever you watch these AWA shows, or even now when you hear people talk, they keep calling him Wahoo McDaniels. And I don't know why, but they do it. Now, I'm from the Chicago area, and that's a typical thing in Chicago that people always put an S at the end of stuff. I have no idea why. Like, we have a food chain called Jewel. People call it Jules. You know, if a bar is named like Q, people call it Q's. You know, that kind of stuff. So maybe that's part of it, but I didn't know if they also did this in Minnesota. Greg Gagne, I don't think he's ever once called Wahoo McDaniel Wahoo McDaniel. To this day, he still calls him Wahoo McDaniels. There is no S at the end of McDaniel. All right. Bobby Duncum and Dick Slater are going to go ahead and give us a promo here. And these two are doing really well as a tag team. And not only as a team, but just they're doing really well in the AWA here. I'm glad we partnered them up. All right, so we're going to rank, and then they got Eric Bischoff too. But of course, Eric Bischoff's not going to be rated on anything. He's just there. All right, Bobby Duncum is going to be rated on Menace. Dick Slater is going to be rated on Selling. So there we go. We got to check to see if they're in a feud with anybody, which I think they are. Yeah, Duncum is in a feud with Jerry Lawler, and Slater's in a feud with Backlund. So we're going to have Jerry Lawler off screen and Bob Backlund here. Of course, they're off screen. This should advance the feuds with both those wrestlers. All right, so that one's booked up for us. Next, we got Sean Baxter and his wild hair facing Bobby Duncum. And I feel bad for Sean Baxter here. Even though I never heard anything bad about it. In fact, you never hear about anything bad about Bobby Duncum in the ring. But Sean Baxter was a little guy. Bobby Duncum was a huge monster. So pretty much Sean Baxter is going to get his ass kicked here. But I never heard of Bobby Duncum taking advantage of anybody, so he probably wouldn't have in a real match like this. But on TV, it was going to look like little Sean Baxter was getting his ass whooped by that big cowboy. All right, Bockwinkel and Stevens are going to get a promo here, and this should get us a pretty good rating. And of course, both of these men are back together, reunited again here, and Nick Bockwinkel, of course, is doing a babyface run here now after turning babyface for us. And there's Ray Stevens. Both of them are going to be rated on microphone because both those guys could really talk. All right, we got Eric Bischoff here is going to talk for both of them. And these two are in a feud with Saito and Zbyszko. Yeah, just wanted to double check there. Here we got Mr. Saito and then Larry Zbyszko. And of course, they're both going to be off screen here. All right, so that one's booked up. And now we got Grilly and Sexton are taking on Bockwinkel and Stevens. And hopefully, you're seeing here about how our enhancement talent, we're not seeing the same guys every time now. So that helps. I like to carry a ton of enhancement talents just for that reason. So we're not having the same enhancements on card after card, television card after television card. So it just matters to me. I know most people probably don't care, but to me it matters. All right, Nick Bockwinkel is going to get the win for us here. Bockwinkel and Stevens considered by many one of the finest tag teams in history. All right. We have Larry Stevens. Not Larry Stevens. Larry Zbyszko is going to cut a promo here. 6-minute promo. And he's going to be based on microphone, obviously, because the SOB can talk. And then we got Eric Bischoff, of course, not rated. And then we're going to have Nick Bockwinkel, of course, not rated. So he's going to be off screen too. Yeah. There we go. All right, so we're ready. And then our main event here, we got Von Raschke versus Zbyszko. And there is Baron Von Raschke. We got him plugged in. And there is Larry Zbyszko. We've got him plugged in. And Larry Zbyszko is going to get the win. And he's going to get it by external interference or outside interference. And it's going to be Mr. Saito that's going to help him get the win. All right, we are all set here. 65 minutes overall. And we're going to start the show. Nice score for this ladies match here. Wendi Richter scores a 60-51. They outscored a lot of the men in our last show. Good job. I like Wendi Richter. She's the real deal. All right, Nasty Boys score a 30 against Milliman and Guzman. And there is some red text of doom, which is disappointing. But you can see that the Nasty Boys continue to improve here. Nick Konechki and Petruzzi only gets us a 23. We got the red text of doom. But Konechki himself scored a 50, which is not terrible. All right, Cactus Jack gets the win over the little person from Game of Thrones, also known as Ben Patrick, with that double arm DDT. And we got some red text of doom here again. But what are you going to do? All right, Wahoo McDaniel, forget the S. It's just Wahoo McDaniel gets the win over Kahlua here with the tomahawk chop. And Wahoo himself scored a 70, which is nice. And Duncum and Slater with only a 3-minute promo here. Not just a 70 here. Very nice. Bobby Duncum gets an 81 on his own here against Sean Baxter. And we end up with a 61 overall. Not bad. Bockwinkel and Stevens score us an 80. I'd like to have seen that score a little bit higher. I think they're both capable of it. But again, TEW does whatever TEW wants to do. So 80 overall. It helps with the storyline going. But somehow, with a 90 and a 78, they only score a 59 overall. I don't care if these guys scored a 14 or 16. The man scored a 90 and a 78. So, once again, I'm going to say it, folks. We've been screwed by TEW. Next segment. Larry Zbyszko gets an 85 here in a promo. Very well done. I think this show is going to outscore Championship Wrestling, unfortunately. So our main event, Von Raschke versus Zbyszko, gets an 81 overall. And of course, it goes down exactly like how we wanted it, with Mr. Saito interfering and Zbyszko getting the win over the Baron. We're going to go ahead and finish up this show, and we get the exact same score as we got for Championship Wrestling. So I am corrected. And we're going to go ahead and finish the show. And this is going to make us all set for the next episode, which of course will air tomorrow. So thank you everybody for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you want to talk shop about TEW, our group is picking up here on Facebook. go to facebook.com/groups/1987supermod. Are you new to the channel? Do you want to play the mod for yourself? Go ahead over to my website, braddrake.net, drop a line, and let me know, and I'll be more than happy to send you a Google Drive's link to the picture pack and also to the database. And last but not least, everybody, please give us a like, subscribe, and share our videos with your friends. So long for now.